Серега, что это? Серега, это ну, Серега. Серега, ну.
Sasquatch.
A homeowner began hearing strange noises outside and soon noticed odd footprints scattered all around the property.
We're now in the southwestern corner of the property. Allegedly, this is where the guy said he had the most activity. That remains to be seen. A little spooky, I guess. It's mostly just quiet. Apparently they're building a subdivision over that way. Huh. Oh. What the hell was that? Oh. Something walking. Oh, shh. Okay, all right. Okay.
Worried, the homeowner called someone to take a closer look at the property. The search led them to the southwestern edge of the land, an area where strange activity had been reported before. At first, everything seemed calm, almost too calm. Nothing appeared out of place except for some signs of nearby construction for a new housing development. Then suddenly something moved in the distance. From between the trees, a massive figure emerged, tall, broad, and covered in dark fur. Its glowing red eyes locked directly onto the observer. The sight was shocking, nothing like what anyone would expect to see on private property. The question that still lingers is whether this video was staged just for attention, or if the camera truly captured something mysterious wandering the land. A video shared on Facebook is said to capture a possible Bigfoot encounter during a camping trip in Alaska's boreal forest. In the footage, the person recording stays low and hidden, filming a large, dark figure moving through the distance. The figure appears for only a few seconds before disappearing back into the trees, leaving behind more questions than answers. This clip was captured by a trail camera in Washington state on December 25, 2009. It shows a large, dark figure appearing to kneel near a campsite. Food and snacks had been left out, hoping to attract a Sasquatch. The creature's posture is strange. Its head sits low with no visible neck, and its body looks massive with broad shoulders and a wide back. Unlike a bear, the figure seems to have a human-like build. One especially odd detail stands out: a visible groove running down the middle of its back, dividing the muscles on each side, something you'd never expect to see on a bear. So who or what was sitting beside that picnic table that night? On July 20th, 2013, a man hiking through a forest in New Brunswick started hearing strange noises coming from the bushes nearby. Curious, and a little uneasy, he pulled out his camera to check it out. What he captured next left him completely stunned. A cold shiver ran down his spine as he spotted a dark figure standing perfectly still among the trees. He zoomed in, trying to make sense of it, but before he could react, the creature vanished right before his eyes. It didn't run. It didn't fade. It just disappeared. He stood there frozen, wondering if he had really seen it, or if the forest had just played a trick on him. As he replayed the footage later, something even stranger came to light. The figure didn't actually disappear. It turned translucent, almost blending into the air itself. Viewers were stunned, and the video quickly went viral. Some said it was a camera glitch. Others swore it was proof of something supernatural. But no one, not even the experts, could definitively explain what that creature really was. According to the person who shared the footage, the driver didn't notice the huge figure at first. His attention was on the burning pile, not what was around him. It was only later, while going through the dash cam footage, that he spotted it, a massive, dark, hair-covered figure standing upright behind a shed, almost blending perfectly with the trees. To help viewers see it more clearly, the uploader slowed the clip down. The creature, clearly taller than the shed, is believed to stand at least 8 feet tall, considering the shed itself is nearly 6. On closer look, its fur appears pitch black over most of the body, fading to a lighter brown around the stomach. One of the most striking parts of the footage is how the figure remains completely still, almost as if it's deliberately trying to blend in and avoid being noticed. That tactic might have worked in real time, but the dash cam still managed to capture its outline. The camera's low frame rate makes the image a bit blurry, yet the footage is still fascinating to many viewers. The exact location was never disclosed, though many believe it was filmed somewhere deep in rural Canada. That leaves one big question. Is this a real Bigfoot sighting, or just another clever hoax? What do you think? The YouTube channel Voyager Overland focuses on the excitement of Jeep adventures, taking on rugged off-road trails, camping beneath the stars, and exploring untouched wilderness. Their videos often highlight breathtaking routes, stunning landscapes, and the hidden campsites they come across along the way. Earlier this summer, the creator set out on a family trip with his wife, grandfather, and grandchildren to the Ruby Falls Mountains in Alberta.
When I asked them where they wanted to go, they both said the same thing. They said, Ruby Falls! So I guess that's where we're heading.
When asked where they wanted to go, everyone agreed on the same destination, Ruby Falls. So that's where they headed. When they arrived, they found a great spot, parked the Jeep, set up a small campsite, and spent some time enjoying the waterfall before moving on to another area to camp again. At the new location, the creator set up a trail camera near their camp, hoping to catch some footage of local wildlife. But instead, the camera recorded something far more unsettling, a humanoid figure moving quietly through their campsite in the middle of the night. The figure appears to walk normally, stopping every so often as if it's scanning the area. What makes the footage especially strange is that the figure sometimes looks partly transparent, possibly because of motion blur, limited infrared lighting, or a mix of both. A researcher experienced with trail cameras and Bigfoot investigations said they'd never seen anything quite like it before. To study the footage more closely, filters were added to brighten the figure, and the image was enlarged by 150%. Even then, it still looks bizarre and difficult to explain. Encounters like this are extremely rare, a reminder that when you venture deep into the wild, you never really know what might be out there. On September 2nd, 2023, Finn, Brenton, and a friend decided to camp out in Freetown State Forest, Massachusetts, a place long rumored to be tied to dark legends and whispers of occult rituals. Since camping there isn't allowed, they quietly set up their tent, trying not to attract any attention. But as night fell, Eerie noises began echoing through the woods, breaking the stillness and sending chills down their spines. The disturbing sounds grew closer, and fear kept them frozen inside the tent. None of them managed to sleep that night. When morning finally came, they hoped daylight would bring some comfort, but the strange noises didn't stop. Instead, they became even more unsettling, echoing through the forest in ways that made no sense at all. Is that what's making that sound? It sounds like a bird? Okay, this just got creepier. We've got this noise on top of it now. You really can't see anything outside the tent, bro. Why does it sound like someone's crying? I'm out. I'm not doing this. The atmosphere shifted from merely unsettling to downright terrifying. The forest seemed alive with cries and strange, unexplainable sounds that left them paralyzed with fear. Panic quickly replaced curiosity. In a rush, they tore down their camp, abandoning the site and swearing never to return. Whatever haunted the forest that night remains a mystery, but the experience left them shaken, convinced that something beyond explanation lurks in those woods. While hiking near Duffield, Virginia, a Reddit user came across a strange footprint embedded in a rock. Although they didn't place anything nearby for scale, they estimated it to be around 12 to 14 inches long. The print was oddly shaped, unusually large and sharply defined against the stone surface. What made it even more puzzling was the fact that there were no other tracks around, just that single, massive impression seemingly carved into the rock itself. In March, a woman living near Redgut Bay, Ontario, noticed something unusual moving through the woods behind her property. The area is remote and quiet, so anything out of the ordinary immediately stands out. She quickly pulled out her phone and started recording. When the footage was later analyzed by the Rocky Mountain Sasquatch team, they stabilized it and made the figure clearer, a tall, dark silhouette with one arm that seemed unusually long. Locals familiar with previous sightings in the region were quick to speculate that it could be Bigfoot. Wanting to avoid attention, the woman chose to stay anonymous. While gathering firewood, a man suddenly heard heavy footsteps approaching nearby. Startled, he ducked behind a tree and stayed perfectly still, waiting to see what might appear. Moments later, he managed to capture something on camera, something he couldn't quite explain.
Серега, что это? Серега, да ну, Серега. Серега, ну.
A short distance away, the figure's movements looked human, but its size was far beyond anything that could reasonably be called human. The witness later described it as the most terrifying experience of his life, convinced that whatever he saw out there was anything but ordinary. A massive figure moving silently through the trees just a few yards away. This unsettling video was recorded by Igor, a man living deep in the remote Siberian wilderness of Russia. His cabin, surrounded entirely by dense forest, was no stranger to the usual nighttime sounds. But recently, he began hearing something different. Low, guttural growls echoing from the trees nearby. Igor knew the calls of local wildlife well, but these sounds were unlike anything he had ever heard before. A hiker ventured deep into the woods, documenting his trek on camera. The video, later shared on a channel called Bigfoot King, captured more than just the scenery. From the very beginning, there was a clear sense of unease in his voice, as if he could feel something watching him hidden somewhere among the trees.
Where are you? Straight up front. Straight up front. Right? Straight up front.
At one point, he noticed what looked like a regular tree trunk, until it moved and a branch snapped. That's when the truth hit him. His hands began to shake as fear took over. He tried to steady the camera for a clearer view, but the figure was already slipping back into the dense brush. Its sheer size and presence left little doubt about what he had just seen. Overwhelmed and terrified, the hiker made the only choice that felt safe. He turned around and left the forest behind. "Where are you?" "Straight up front. Yeah, straight up front, right there." Ahead of him was a series of massive footprints. They didn't look like any animal tracks he'd ever seen. The sheer size of them made him stop in his tracks, frozen with disbelief. One print stood out in particular. It was enormous, almost human-like, but far too large to belong to any person. A man living deep in the forests of Washington recently shared a photo that sent chills through the online community. He claims it shows Bigfoot lurking outside his remote cabin late at night. In the image, a tall, shadowy figure appears to be standing just beyond the glass, its outline faint but unmistakably human-like. Broad shoulders, a massive frame, and two dimly lit eyes reflecting in the darkness. The man says he was alone when he heard faint movement outside, followed by a low guttural sound that made his blood run cold. Grabbing his phone, he managed to snap a single blurry picture before the figure stepped back into the night and vanished among the trees. The photo quickly went viral, sparking heated debate across social media. Some viewers insist it's solid proof of Bigfoot's existence, pointing out the height, proportions, and eerie symmetry of the silhouette. Others argue it's just another case of mistaken identity or even an elaborate hoax. Still, what unsettles people most is the setting. A cabin miles away from the nearest town, surrounded by endless wilderness, where the nearest neighbor is a 2-hour drive away. Skeptics question why, in an age where nearly everyone carries a high-definition camera, footage like this always turns out grainy and unclear. But those who've experienced the unexplained say that when fear hits and adrenaline takes over, even the steadiest hands can't hold a phone straight. So what do you think? Did this man truly capture something extraordinary hiding in the Washington woods? Or is it just another eerie coincidence? Watch the footage carefully, decide for yourself, and let us know your thoughts in the comments below. On camera, this new footage might just be the clearest and most chilling proof yet that something big is out there in the wild. Bigfoot has been spotted all across the northern hemisphere, especially in the Himalayas, the northwestern United States and western Canada, where most of the encounters happen. But this one stands out. It was captured by a group of Chinese tourists visiting a quiet park in Mission, British Columbia. What they caught on video that day shocked everyone, and it's still being talked about to this very moment. Stay tuned, because what you're about to see might just change the way you think about Bigfoot forever.
Sasquatch.
A furry, human-like creature was seen crouching beside a road deep in the woods, appearing to dig into the ground. A group of curious Chinese tourists noticed it and immediately started recording, completely unfazed, almost like they couldn't believe what they were seeing. The video quickly went viral, sparking a heated debate online. Some people insisted it was just a bear, while others were convinced it was a real Sasquatch. Either way, one thing's for sure. Whatever that creature was, it's not something you'd ever want to come face to face with alone in the woods. On this particular night, the sounds were louder and closer than ever before. Igor grabbed his flashlight and camera, stepping cautiously onto his porch. The forest around him was pitch black, the only light coming from the dim glow of his cabin window. Then, from somewhere beyond the tree line, the growl came again. Deep, rumbling, and disturbingly close. It was unlike any animal he could recognize, and in that moment, Igor realized he might not be alone out there in the frozen Siberian woods. Determined to find where the sounds were coming from, Igor grabbed his night vision camera and stepped out into the darkness. The cold air was still, and every crunch of snow under his boots echoed through the trees. Then, as he panned the camera across the forest, a shape flickered into view, tall, shadowy, and moving slowly between the trunks. What he captured that night would unnerve even the bravest viewer. Two men headed out into the wilderness for a relaxing camping trip. Everything was going great. The fire was crackling, the night was calm, until they suddenly heard a strange noise echoing through the trees. What happened next completely caught them off guard.
No, they had
primal lightning struck fires.
they held their stogies to the skies,
Yeah.
and waited for Edison to strike.
You can just drag a girl to your cave by their hair and fucking breed.
Yep, just like the good old days.
Just like the good old days.
Beer. Oh my goodness. She actually
Wait,
kind of does look like a bear.
Did
What?
you hear something?
I
I
don't know.
just-
No.
When is this blackout? Like your imagination plays tricks on you.
Yeah.
So.
Wait, what the
Fuck.
heck? Hold on.
No.
Wait, what the fuck? What the fuck is that?
What? I don't see.
What the fuck?
Wait, what?
Uh,
the fuck?
Hey,
Are you
there's
okay?
something. What the fuck? Maroon? Maroon?
A strange figure started moving toward them from the distance. At first it looked like another camper wandering through the woods, but as it got closer, they realized it wasn't human at all. It was something else, something beastly. What happened after that remains a mystery. There were no follow-up reports, no updates, just this one chilling video. Let's just hope those men made it out safely. A man set out for a peaceful midday hike, soaking in the warm sun and the calm of nature. But as he walked beneath an old weathered bridge, he came across something completely unexpected. Something that would turn his relaxing day into a chilling mystery he'd never forget. At first glance, it's easy to miss. But if you look closely into the shadowy area beneath the bridge, you can just make out the shape of something eerie. A tall, humanoid figure hiding in the darkness, watching silently from below. Evan spotted it almost immediately, and the moment he realized what he was looking at, he bolted. He didn't stop to film, didn't look back, just ran as fast as he could. And honestly, who could blame him? Anyone in his place would have done the exact same thing.